Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back to Cool Toronto. This is crazy, Lord. I want to develop my muscles. I just came from the gym, worked out, had an amazing workout. I did 300 front squats, built my leg muscles. I did 150 push-ups. Whoa, you should see my chest. Whoa, I feel amazing. And is that what we're going to talk about? Sort of, kind of. On this channel, we talk about everything and anything that makes us not awesome, but the best, awesomest human beings ever. Muscles. See? You can see it right through my suit. Pumped up. Muscles. But let's talk about developing a very, very, very special muscle. Most people don't even think about developing this kind of muscle. And what is it, my friends? What is it? You, my friends, are what? A spiritual being living a human experience. I love that word. I love that saying. You are a spiritual being living a human experience. So what am I trying to say here? Faith is a state of mind wherein one recognizes and uses the power of positive thought as a medium by which one contacts and draws upon the universal storehouse of infinite intelligence at will. And how do you do that? Faith, my friends, faith. So how do you develop your faith muscle? Have you ever thought of that? Have you ever thought that faith is a muscle? Everybody comes on this earth with that muscle, but we ignore it. Yeah, we ignore it. You develop a faith muscle through practicing and developing and believing that you have that muscle and acting on it. In the Bible it says, I love this saying, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Wow, I love that. What's it trying to say? Whatever you want and you pray and you believe. What is the belief part? Belief part is your faith. And then acting on it. And believing as it's already here today now. And acting from where you want to be. What you are believing to have as if it's already here. And acting in that way. So here's the thing. Faith is a state of mind when one recognizes uses the power of positive thought. See, there's faith and there's fear. Faith and the positivity is through positive thoughts and acting and believing that you have received it and living that way. So what does that mean? What does that have to do with this channel, which I always practice and share with you, that we are on this channel to grow your mind? Is the receiving, and guess what? Transmitting frequencies. So where is it being transmitted? It's being transmitted through your God mind. Faith is substance unseen, unrealized, but you know it's on the way through its own time. So whatever that you think about, repeat it over and over again and believing it's on its way and acting on it as if it's already here. It's yours. That's how you develop faith muscle. So everybody comes on this earth with that muscle. Everybody's got the same muscle. The people who work on that muscle, they get abundance in their life. But here's the thing. There are two types of faith muscles. Two. What? Two types. Only two. There's positive and negative. So you can also have a negative faith muscle. So what is that? The positive is to the earth, to your creator. And negative is to the devil. What? Let me explain this to you. I learned a lot of things from Napoleon Hill, and then I start using my head. And when I'm praying, and I love praying, because I'm developing my faith muscle, because I am guided by faith. Yeah, I would have it no other way. I think about things that I've read. It's all saying the same things. Faith is a state of mind wherein one recognizes and uses the power of positive thought as a medium by which one contacts and draws upon the universal storehouse of infinite intelligence at will. That is your God. You're drawing your positive thinking, way of living to your Creator and asking for it anytime that you want at will. Positive. Fear is a state of mind as well, wherein one recognizes and uses the power of negative thought as a medium by which one contacts and draws upon the universal storehouse of infinite intelligence? No. Devil's workshop at will. Think about that. People who live in fear, they go to the devil, and that is a way of living too. It's fear. Let's call it negative faith. But we want to live on the positive faith. So how do you develop your positive faith? When you repeat something over and over and over and over, and did I say over again? And start believing it through your subconscious mind, where your mind thinks in terms of pictures and emotions. When you think in pictures and emotions, your subconscious mind is a link to the God mind. And through the ether of your God mind, He sends signal to your heart, to your soul, for you to act upon what you want. Everything to your Creator is yes. If you ask negative, it gives you negativity. If you ask positive, it gives you positivity. So if you believe certain things over and over and over and over again, you are that. Why? Because you're vibrating at that level. So I have one saying in my life that I live by always now. I always ask myself, who am I becoming now, right now? What am I becoming right now? I love that saying. You know why? Because I attract in my life who I am, because I vibrate at that level. And this is how it works, my friends. You attract who you are. That's it. This is how it works. Napoleon Hill again. Just thought of this again. I've memorized a lot of his stuff and I act on it. And when I go for walks, I think about this. And I start becoming aware and enlightened. And I use it in my life and then I share it with the world. But I also match it with my faith, my religion. So what am I talking about right now? I'm going to say one thing. I think it's in the beginning of his book or at the end. I don't know. But I've memorized this. Fear is a tool of a man-made devil. Self-confident faith in oneself is both a man-made weapon which defeats this devil and a man-made tool which builds a triumphant life. And it is more than that. It is a link to the irresistible forces of the universe, which stands behind a man who does not believe in failure and defeat is anything but a temporary experience. What Napoleon Hill has written there says everything. Fear we create in our mind. We create it. It's a tool that we have made for destructive purposes towards us. But faith is also a tool which builds a triumphant life for a person who does not believe in failure and defeat is anything but a temporary experience. Wow. In other words, if you believe in negativity, lack, limitation, not good enough, you are going to attract that in your life. But if you believe that you are guided by your faith and you believe you are amazing, you can achieve great things in your life, then guess what? You will also achieve that. Fear is a destructive tool. Faith is what? A constructive tool. You can live an amazing life by believing and acting in a positive way and developing your faith muscle. And that, my friends, is how you develop your faith muscle. And that is what your faith is. But then also, you can also develop your fear muscle and live a destructive life. Two choices. Up to you. I shared with you today what I have learned in my life and how I am living now at the age of 62. What? 62? Crazy stuff. I can't even believe I'm 62. But I act like a 21-year-old Paquito Kareem. Why? Why do I do that? Because I believe that is who I am. Faith. I want you to live this way and see what happens in your life. I want you to go and develop that fake muscle. And after your workout, say, thank you, God, for teaching me this way of living. Because without gratitude, you have nothing. Gratitude accelerates what you want in your life. It makes your mind fertile. Hate, on the other hand, wow, destructive. Killing yourself. So if you think I gave you value, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel so we can make this world the best world ever. No hate, only love. One love. Live consciously, with purpose, in this beautiful moment now, and with freaking passion. So much passion. Wow. Only love is oozing out of you.